Onions are incredible. Hi, I'm Phil. Welcome to Pretty Good Cooking.
Pretty good.
You may notice something different about me. I'm wearing, I think, a different shirt from what I normally wear on the show. I do have more than 4 shirts. Hashtag goals, wear different shirts on the show. I also got glasses. They help me see a little bit better. I don't have bad vision, but they do help with my slight astigmatism. And I think they make me look a little smarter. So, you know, maybe we'll offset some of the buffoonery, which of course is the only part of the show that you guys care about, I'm sure. Tonight we're gonna make what is it? Ribollita? Ribollita. I think that's how you say it. This is a Tuscan dish. Tuscan dishes come from Tuscany, which is in Italy. And Italy right now is That's right, we're filming on March 3rd. The world is on fire right now. Things are looking great. So sometimes in life when that's the case, all you can do is make some soup, have a drink, wait for this whole thing to blow over. I'm also stockpiling beans in my basement. All right, so this is it's a pottage dish. A pottage just means like vegetables cooked in a pot, I think. I don't know, some British person's probably gonna get real uppity about that one. But their voice doesn't matter because this is an Italian dish. Cannellini beans, lots of veggies, and it's a way of using up old bread. I don't have old bread because I'm a millennial, we don't really keep bread like, you know, people did for thousands of years. So I have fresh bread. It'll have to do. I'm gonna find some bourbon to drink, ease my worried head. That's right, let's dip into the value bourbon section. I've done a pretty good job of segregating my good bourbons from the cheap bourbons. But I will say, because my palate's not that complicated, and my love for bourbon is so great, all bourbons are good bourbons. What will we go for today? Let's have a very old Barton. One ice cube for me, the other for the sink. I don't know why I got 2. Impossibly smooth. All right, so we got lots of vegetables. There they are, an array of ingredients. There's so much chaos in the world, I felt I could use a little order in my life. Here I have an onion, a whole one. And actually, we're gonna put a shitload of onions in this because I figure, why not? You know, with the end times approaching, why not splurge on that extra onion? It's where I want to spend my my sinner's budget. It's like they say in the good book, licentious boys use 2 onions. If you'd like to postulate what you think the good book is, leave a comment in the comments below. What that good book is, I'm peeling these onions. This is half an onion. They're yellow. You could use any kind of onion, really. So just a regular dice. And you know, these will cook down some. This is the second one. I feel like it could be too much onion, but sometimes you just gotta take that idea and run with it. I think it's gonna be a bold maneuver. 2 onions, twice the onion flavor. Here it is, 2 onions. My God, that's a lot. Let's heat up our Dutch oven. Man, we've been using this thing a lot. That's because it's good. Thanks, Brett. We're gonna put some olive oil into the pot. And you know, it's Italian Mediterranean food, so they use excessive amounts, I would say, of olive oil. You know, it's like probably a legitimate Mediterranean recipe when the oil is measured in cups, okay? When I read that, I'm like, where I'm from, we do that by the spoon. That's not how they do it. Add a cup here, a cup there, and then drizzle some on at the end. It's like, man, well, okay. Oil's doing weird things, not really sure what's going on, so we're just gonna put onions in there and hope for this. On my pottage spoon, and we'll start cooking those down. All right, let's work on other vegetables. So we are making the mirepoix, and you could substitute fennel for celery if you would like. I'm not really hot on fennel. To me, fennel is just like, it's got too much flavor. It kind of offends my Midwestern sensibilities. Like celery tastes cool. It's pretty, you know, flavorful food, but fennel, it's too much. I watched another YouTube video, some Greek guy said all the nutrition in carrots in the peel. Think probably bullshit, but now I'm not peeling my carrots. New year, new me. No naked carrots. This is 3 carrots. Basically, I'm just chopping them. Quarters or halves and basically bite-sized pieces. Honestly, I've learned recently that carrots take longer to cook than I always underestimate. So I'm just gonna throw them in, because I don't want al dente carrots in a soup. Now again, if you were making some other thing, you might say this is kind of a lot, but For a soup like this is kind of like the main part of the soup, so don't hold back. Also, be healthy. Feel free to eat a lot of vegetables. It's like one of the few things in life you can do guilt-free. Okay, having my celery and holding my celery, I'm just gonna pretty thinly chop it. I don't really like big honking pieces of celery. This is largely for flavor more than anything. It's one of those food products that, like, it looks too perfect. You know, like, how do they be growing that celery? Probably printing it somewhere. All right, next up is garlic. I'm using whole garlic because it was really not a difficult dish, so I got a little extra effort to spare. So we got 6 cloves of garlic, various sizes here. And we're just gonna roughly chop it. Very roughly chop. You don't have to finesse anything here. Pretty good cooking. Another name for it would be cooking without finesse. No finesse here. Please hold the skill. Thanks. Keep that cooking going. Next up, we got our hard vegetables done. We're gonna work on this kale. And this is Lacinato Kale. Probably Lacinato. Also called dinosaur kale. It looks so f***ing cool. Look at that. It feels cool too. It feels like, I don't know, like it's made out of rubber or something. Alright, so I got 2 bunches. That might be too much, but it does shrink when you cook it. We're gonna strip it from the ribs. And there's a couple of ways to do that, but probably the easiest is to just start it like that and run your finger over it. I'm jealous. I want to grow kale like this someday. Look at this thing. You imagine you grow this in your garden, and it's just this big honking healthy thing. So here's our kale. I'm going to give it somewhat of a wash. It actually feels really clean already, but you gotta be careful with kale. I mean, it can be real sandy, real dirty. So at least give it a rinse. And then, you know, you do you, but I'm just gonna roughly chop it. And you should remember that this will shrink considerably when it's cooked. God, it doesn't even look like food. It's so weird. All right, so I think we got a little brown action on these guys. I think we can start adding other things. I'm gonna add a little splash of wine to deglaze. Now, I think I'll just have sake handy. Rice wine's fine. You can also use white wine. Just a splash. Stirring our veg up. Look at that, it shrank when we cooked it. Okay, got a couple cans of Cannelini Beans. I only have organic because that's what was available. You can use whatever you like. And I'm gonna put them in liquid and all, which is what's called a bold maneuver. Some people don't like that bean juice. I think it's fine. So let's just throw it in and see what happens. 1 can of beans. 2 can of beans. Yum, yum, yum. Looks weird. Those are beans. All right, next up are gonna be tomatoes. I have a Moody brand peeled tomatoes, 100% Italian. It's good because that's what this dish is from. And there's plenty of sauce in there. I actually kind of think I'm just gonna throw the whole thing in. You can like use your hand to break them up, or not. I'll just do one of these. No finesse. Here's the lack of finesse right here. Never had it. Never will have it. There we go. We'll use a little water to get the rest of the tomatoey goodness. And we'll turn up the heat. Just gonna keep adding cans of water. So I'm too lazy to get another water thing. This will take no time at all. All right, so I put in 5 cans of water. It's a 400-gram can, so you do the math. All right, so we're gonna bring this up to a simmer, and we got another ingredient to add. So this is really gonna give the soup its flavor. It's Parmesan. Actually, we're gonna get the rind. That's what we're gonna use. Which is nice because don't really want to eat the rind unless you're some kind of animal. We're gonna chop right about there and then right about here. So there's a little bit of cheese gone, but really not too much. So just slip them on in there. Remember that Parmesan can be salty, so you may not really want to salt this too terribly much. And while we're at it, this is optional. So if you got like leftover fresh herbs, which I do, because I'm bougie, feel free to put in some of those. Here's some rosemary. And I like to put them in whole because I don't really like having lots of fiddly bit herbs. That's thyme. I don't like fiddly bit herbs really too much. I'm trying to taste them. I'm not really trying to eat them. Okay? What else? A little bit of stock. And if you don't want to use water, you could just make chicken stock. But you know, this is a filled recipe, so I'm putting in better than bouillon. And this time, we're not even doing the less than finesseful sink method. This time, it just goes straight in. I got hot water right there. Team Animal Products. I just put an animal product in here. Team Vegan. You could omit this step. Also, we put a cheese rind in there, so that's an animal product too. Vegans, don't put cheese rinds in there. Don't do it. Vegetarians, all right. No problem. All right, so we're gonna heat that up to a simmer and let it stew for a little bit. The nice thing is that, most of these things don't take that long to cook, but certainly every food blogger in the world will tell you that the longer you cook it, the better it'll be. That's not my MO, so I'm not gonna tell you that. I don't know, I've never made it before. And I'm forecasting that my patience for waiting for this to cook is not gonna be that long. So we will never know. Cooking longer makes taste better. All right, so our pottage is at a simmer. You can see that it's nice and brothy. So we're gonna let that cook down for a little bit. And we're gonna work on the bread. So there's a couple of different options with the bread. Either way, you're gonna need to preheat your oven. I preheated it to 400 degrees. It's currently at 100 degrees because it's not there yet. I give my oven a break. Here I have some bread. This is a Miche round, some French bullshit. Any crusty bread will do. This was the crustiest thing that Lucky's had, so that's what we're using today. So we're gonna tear some bits and toast them, and then we're gonna use them almost like croutons. I'm not gonna toss this in oil or anything. We're just gonna basically dry toast these, and I think that'll be yummy. We're doing hand-torn pieces to preserve the rustic quality that is a Tuscany dish. And you know, sometimes you just gotta have a little bread for yourself. I'm just gonna fill up the pan. I feel like that'll be plenty. So I'm gonna just throw it in the oven. We'll just toast it. I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. We'll be back. All right, bread's done because I said so. You can see it doesn't really look that different, but it's drier and it's a little crispy, but the inside is still soft. And that looks good to me. So congratulations, that's how you make stale bread. Turn the oven off. All right, so bread's done. This is looking good. It's looking nice and cooked. Looking a little oniony, but that's okay. And here's our kale. Now we're just gonna put the kale in and watch it disappear. That's right, that's how kale works. You put it in something hot and it disappears. Much like onions, it shrinks when you cook it. And really, I am acknowledging this is a lot of kale, but I feel like that's gonna make it that much healthier, okay? Look at that, it's already nice and Godzilla-like. And our stew that was already fairly thick is getting thicker by the moment. Just like each and every one of your mothers. Thicker by the second. That's how you like your mom. You can try to unpack that one, but I can't. You can see that this is really getting thick now. Thick with like 29 C's, but it looks great. This will get the devil out of you. Look at that, it looks great. It looks great. I'm excited. You can tell by my tone of voice how excited I am to eat this big old pile of vegetables. All right, we'll let it go for another couple minutes and then we'll finish this. All right, so I got some toppings. I'm gonna use fresh flat leaf parsley. If you want to use curly leaf, I will not judge you, but you're gonna have a harder time chopping it, unless you're some kind of chopping savant, in which case you should make a show called Chopping Good. And we're gonna grate some of that Parmesan. You can see I started grating it, and I will continue to grate it. Because this is a vegetarian dish, you don't gotta feel bad about adding cheese. So there's our soup. And I'm gonna put it in a bowl with a saucer underneath it because that's how you make fancy food. You can see that kale is heavily featured. All right, so take some of your bread bits and stick them in there, like so. Black pepper, a little bit of parsley, and of course, a healthy amount of Parmesan. Okay, look at that nice aesthetic. If you wanted, you could melt that cheese, which I might do right here with a torch. If you're using a torch, clear the area of obviously flammable materials. And I'm gonna add just a little, I'm just basically browning the top. I don't want it to really melt too much, but I think that gives it a nice touch. All right, so here, let's try this. This is good boy soup out. Oh, it's delicious. It tastes healthy. The broth is rich. Let's eat some of this big kale. This is really good, you guys. And it falls into the category of like, I don't know, this is probably good for you. It probably is. I tell you what, hitting it with that torch is good. It adds like a little smoky flavor. Man, I like this. Oh, it's good. This is really good, guys. Make this. Make this and live a long, happy life. And if we all succumb to disease, at least most of the people who watch this show are young and will recover, most likely. And that's our show tonight. God bless you and your family. I hope you enjoy this fine Italian dish. You don't gotta go to the Olive Garden. Not that there's anything wrong with the Olive Garden, but just really easy to make fun of. I wish you good health, lots of wealth, and above all, love for yourself. Bye-bye.